Sandy here, and welcome to another scrapbooking layout video here. Today I am actually going to be scraplifting a scraplift. We have Christina Sorge, who created this layout right here, and she actually scraplifted Crafty Maggie, and I'm going to scraplift this scraplift. So let's see what I can do. Alrighty guys, so this is the second version of the layout. The first version I had created a pretty cool mixed media background. However, the colors that I ended up with really weren't matching the colors of the florals that I cut out of that One Canoe 2 paper, and I really wanted to use the flowers, so I decided to save that background for another layout. What I did do was I had a second sheet of that floral paper, and I just flipped it over and used the B side, and that's where you'll see that khaki and white plus sign paper. Now I am totally doing a one-off scrap lift of Christina's layout where she had the notebook paper at the top left photo. I loved that little look. I love that little bit of texture, so I just copied that exactly. And that's cool because we are scrap lifting with this. What is fun is when you scrap lift a scrap lift, things kind of change and evolve and you do your own thing. And that is the fun part of scrap lifting. Sometimes you just want to replicate something that someone else has created, and sometimes you want to really just be inspired by it and use pieces that they used in their layout and just go for it. Now this yellow kind of die cut paper here I got at Michael's a while ago, and surprisingly I thought that the yellow paper was going to be the one that I just never got around to using, but I've used all the yellow paper out of that pad now, which is pretty exciting. Just adding a little bit of adhesive. Now the photo mats underneath of these photos, there is a brown kind of like faux wooden look that I have used, and it matches that khaki pretty well underneath of it. It's just a little bit darker, a little bit more saturated of color. I also have this gray and white marbling paper, and then I brought in that dark blue paper as an accent, and of course we're going with the yellow paper again. I just love the way that that yellow and that blue pop together. So I am using my Scotch permanent dot runner on that yellow paper instead of my ATG, which is my adhesive of choice, and that is because I really don't want any of those little bits where the leaves are all die cut out of it to rip apart or break. Even though I'm covering a whole lot of that die cut area, it would happen where I would end up ripping it and the edges would rip too, and that is not something I really want it to happen. Now, I had fussy cut these florals out ahead of time, and I also used some tonic shimmer pen on them, just on the rose part, not on the leaves, just to give it a little bit of extra sparkle, a little bit of extra shine. It is subtle. It's not like a huge difference or anything, but you can tell when you're looking at it in person. And I think that anytime you can add a little sparkle or glitter to a page, it's a good thing. Especially since this is a Disney page, like Disney just deserves all the glitter. Now I am just kind of layering these guys up here in the corner. I don't know why it's taking me so long to find the perfect spot to stick that flower down, but it sure did take a while. And then I'm going to create a little cluster up here in the top as well. And I am layering right over top of that yellow paper. I just want that yellow paper to really look like it's incorporated into the entire layout, and it's just not like a wham, pow, there's some yellow paper right here. I want it to really look like it's meant to be there. And since these florals have this golden yellow on it, it totally works with it. Now I'm thinking that that leaf that's sticking out right there is just a little bit too much, so I think about cutting it off, and then I try a different floral altogether, and then I go right back to that guy, cut off his little leaf, and plop him down in the center because I am creating a cluster right here as well. Now, Christina's layout had a banner title right there, a banner sticker title, and I don't have a banner sticker title that will work with this layout. I have plenty of banners, plenty of stickers, but none that really would totally Scraplift off of her layout. So I'm doing my own thing, and that is creating that cluster here. Now I wanted to bring that dark wood, it's like a fake wood pattern in elsewhere, so I went ahead and gave my little blue journaling box here a little shelf to sit on, and that makes me happy because now I don't have this big heavy blue box kind of like floating around down there on the page. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out where I can put as many of these florals as possible, because I thought I was going to need a whole lot more than I actually did. So I'm just trying to use them since I took the time to fussy cut them out of pattern paper. Now I know that my title is going to be Smile, because we are all in different states of smiling. And there it goes. And I think that that blue is a pretty good match for the blue 6x6 papers that I have. It's not an exact match, like the blues are not exactly the same, but it's close enough. It looks good. And I just used my little picker there to pull out the center of the E, because that is one thing that drives me insane, is letters that have like spaces in them, like an E or a B or an A, and leaving the inside of the sticker in there drives me insane. And I know that a lot of people do it, and I know that there are stickers that don't even have those little cutouts at all, but it drives me insane. I have to put like a little enamel dot or a star or something in there to represent that space that should be there. Now I pull out these little puffy stickers from Ellie Studio, and I pull the gray ones because I want to bring the gray that is in that photo mat paper kind of to the forefront. So gray is definitely a neutral, and there's a lot of neutral already going on in this layout with the khaki-ish color and the white, but I just felt like it needed a little bit more. Now I am flipping through, trying to figure out what else is going to go on this layout, because it does need a little something. I feel like the flowers here are a huge part of the embellishment, but it just needs a little bit of extra something. So I pull out these enamel hearts, and that's going to liven up the texture a little bit. Now you're going to get that smooth and shininess instead of the sparkly kind of florals that are going around. And I pull out some enamel dots, and I figure that they're a pretty good match, but I like these better. So I'm just going to place them around the page, and of course I move those gray ones around a little bit, and they really aren't placed as in a prominent position anymore. And I do one of my favorite things I like to do with enamel dots, and that is to take 3 enamel dots in the same color but in 3 different sizes and just kind of cluster them together. And then I decide to just go for it and use the rest of the yellow enamel dots and place a couple over there by that one enamel heart. So now I'm thinking I need a little bit more words. This page definitely needs some more words. So I'm pulling out some letter stickers, I'm pulling out some phrase stickers, and I'm trying to find ones in gray and yellow and white, all the colors that I have already going on in the layout. I don't really want to add anything new. I don't want to introduce a new color at all. So I'm just going and trying to find phrases that kind of go with the layout. So things like awesome, hanging out, what does this one say? Life is good. And even this big, bold remember works as well. So I've gone ahead and placed those down, and that leaves me a little bit of room for my journaling. And I decide to use my Uniball Signo pen to do that. And if you guys remember some of my other videos, I had a super hard time with my white pen, and it just wasn't working, and I thought that the quality had gone really down, and really what had just happened was I just had a faulty pen. When I got this one, it works beautifully. So if that ever happens, and white pens are testy as it is, you might just have a little faulty one. So I'm just going to write down about how much fun we had together on Storybook Land ride here in Disney. And that is going to do it, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to click subscribe, hit that little bell if you want to be notified when I post a new video, and I will catch you guys soon.